So there's an insane cost of living crisis forcing millions of people to work more than one job in order to bring in multiple streams of income and just to be barely able to get by. Earning a less than livable wage on a paycheck to paycheck budget that is exacerbated by food shortages and food insecurities at home and keeping pantries bare. Picking up extra gig work and side hustles seems to be the only answer right now, and a temporary fix to a much bigger problem and a means to an end, only to suffer the same or worse fate than what we all saw happen in 2008. And according to some people who have been struggling and feeling the most pain for quite some time, and it has only gotten worse for them as time presses on, and they say that America has failed them so badly that people are turning to $1,000 per month side hustles to make ends meet. High-income earners are working night shifts for additional wages and tips, and all this while the courts prepare notice for a wave of changes and reform to the rampant growth of homelessness in America, which all seems to fall in line with their plan because just 5 years ago, a federal court issued a crucial ruling that people who are experiencing homelessness can't be punished for sleeping outside on public property if there are no adequate alternatives available, creating a more severe homelessness crisis, which researchers attribute primarily to the lack of affordable housing. As the number of people experiencing unsheltered homelessness, meaning those sleeping on the streets, in parks, and abandoned buildings or train stations or anywhere not meant for humans to live, continues to rise. Ahead of a massive jump in foreclosure filings over the last few months, adding to the growing total of nearly 36,000 properties nationwide that have filed foreclosures, which include default notices, scheduled auctions, or bank repossessions. Recent increases in foreclosure filings nationwide indicated a trend that has been observed throughout the year and what many have expected to happen. And this upward trajectory suggests the possibility of continued heightened activity, and with foreclosure completions seeing the largest monthly increase this year, the continuation of these potential impacts this may have on the housing market is going to cause and prompt a likely dire and grim outcome for many families who will be thrown out, evicted, and left with nowhere else to go. 3 states that are feeling the most pain right now are Illinois, Maryland, and New Jersey, and they have recorded the highest foreclosure rates so far. In Illinois, 1 in every 2,144 housing units had a foreclosure filing. In Maryland, it was 1 in every 2,203 units. And in New Jersey, it was 1 in every 2,257 units. And nationwide, 1 in every 3,967 housing units had a foreclosure filing. So it's only getting worse. And the metropolitan areas with a population greater than 1 million with the worst foreclosure rates were Cleveland, Ohio, Jacksonville, Florida, Baltimore, Maryland, Chicago, Illinois, and Orlando, Florida. So maybe this is part of the reason why everybody is leaving Florida. As lenders prepare for residential and consumer foreclosure before gearing up for the big kill as commercial and corporate mortgages go into default and bankruptcy proceedings are filed by large corporations, serving up near billion-dollar losses, starting with 2 large hotel REITs in San Francisco, California, walking away from $750 million. That's $750 million worth of unpaid debt, signaling an urgent warning, an alert for homeowners and working class families, some of them possibly even your neighbors. The greatest number of foreclosure starts were in Florida at just over 2,900. California with 2,451, and Texas with 2,286. The metropolitan area with a population greater than 1 million with the most foreclosure starts were New York City, Chicago, Houston, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia. And lenders like JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and PNC Bank repossessed 4,020 properties through completed foreclosures, real estate owned REOs in May. And that's up 38% from last month and 41% from last year. The states with the most REOs were Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, Texas, and Pennsylvania. And the metropolitan areas with a population greater than 1 million that have the most REOs were New York City, Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, and Washington, D.C. So I think it goes without saying, but the S is hitting the fan, y'all, and it's time to get ready. Hello, first-time viewers, and welcome back to all the channel supporters to another video packed with a load of valuable and important information. My name is Kevin, K-E-V-I-N in all caps. And remember, you can always find me at youtube.com/@Kevin247. Make sure you check me out on Instagram and connect personally and one-on-one over on Patreon. I've got 3 ways to create multiple big streams of income coming up for you guys, as well as free links below in the description for easy online jobs that pay you every day, and simple investing for beginners, and other ways to hedge against inflation and build wealth and passive income streams. Regular live streams with interactive live chat is available for anyone who wants to talk to me directly about getting started, growing channels, getting monetized, building businesses, making money, increasing incomes, savings, investing, debt elimination, and most importantly, diversity, security, and cash flow. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Thank you guys. Thank you all in advance. Now, I really hope that you enjoy this video. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So crypto expert analyst Ali Martinez has sounded the alarm on XRP's recent price action and posted a tweet on Twitter that cautioned traders against falling into a potential price trap, advising them to exercise caution before making any hasty moves. Having specifically noted that XRP previously surpassed the 55 cents mark that enticed breakout traders to go long, only to experience a sudden reversal that left them upside down and in the red after seeing the charts take a sharp decline and gut-wrenching nosedive. Here, take a look at the screen. I'm going to put up a chart that should provide further clarity, as Martinez shared this and pointed out the critical price level for XRP consolidation, which appears to be right around 54 cents per token. Now, this is not financial advice, and I'm just sharing a chart with you from CoinMarketCap. However, with that being said, this consolidation would require the candle to close above the threshold, with longer time frames being preferable according to U.Today. And in addition to technical factors influencing XRP's price movement, fundamental factors have also come into play. Recently, the long-awaited Hinman documents pertaining to the Ripple lawsuit were made public, and these documents, involving a former SEC official, were anticipated to shed light on the ongoing 3-year legal battle against Ripple and XRP. Nonetheless, as is customary with such fundamental events, it appears as though the impact on XRP's price has already been factored in by the market. And furthermore, despite the expectations of some self-proclaimed internet and Reddit Ripple investing gurus, the disclosure of these documents failed to trigger the anticipated market boom. And speaking of boom, that sound you heard was not the boom coming from the amplifiers.
And then I heard boom from the amplifiers.
Nope. That boom is coming from what some are calling a massive failure by America, because millions of people can't pay their rent because all their money's spent. But that's okay, just get 2 jobs. Because according to this, and take a look, I'm going to put it on the screen so you guys can see it. Fortune says America has failed millennials so badly that they're turning to $1,000 per month side hustles to make ends meet. And that now, so many are thinking to themselves that waking up to work, even though you might not want to, has not so affectionately become known as part of the hustle. And while the pandemic has made many workers denounce such hustle culture, the truth of the matter is that many workers are hustling harder than ever to make ends meet, as the cost of living continues to outpace stagnant wages. Today, as many as 2 in 5 adults in the U.S. have a side hustle, and this is according to a recent Bankrate survey of over 2,500 adults, and the results back up LendingTree's data collected from earlier this year that found side gigs are up by 13% over the past 2 years. And recent Deloitte data found that millennials and Gen Zers are adding on more part-time jobs as well, since more than 50% of younger workers, Gen Zers and millennials, are more likely to need an extra job. And Gen Xers and baby boomers make up 40% and 24% respectively. But simply put, it is a reflection of the state of the economy, which has left many Americans, even those earning six figures, feeling like they're living paycheck to paycheck. And that at the end of the day, side hustles have become a necessity for many who are struggling to compete with the pace of inflation and trying to save amid recession fears. And this is despite the breaking news headlines that we have been seeing plastered all across liberal-leaning, blue-backed mainstream media websites and YouTube video clickbait titles that tout a 4% CPI inflation rate, having been the lowest month to month in years. I mean, come on, everyone. We all know what that really means, right? Now smash that like button for the algorithm and for the truth about inflation. And if you don't know exactly, then still make sure you hit that like button and then comment down below so I can get a better gauge of the audience and read the room better so I know what important information and updates to bring you next. So Bankrate's senior industry analyst Ted Rossman said that side hustles have become more common, but like so many things in this inflationary environment, people are working harder but not necessarily getting ahead, and that side hustlers are much more likely to view this extra income as essential rather than a passion project or a way to get ahead financially. And honestly, that makes sense because millennials in particular have been struggling to keep their heads above water for years. After hopping around a rocky post-Great Recession job market, dealing with inordinate student loan debt, and shopping around a difficult housing market, all of which has made it harder for them to become financially independent. 33% said that they need the job to afford regular living expenses, while another 27% said it helps with discretionary spending. 25% are using the extra cash from the side gigs for savings, and 12% are using it to pay down some of their huge amounts of debt from credit cards, car loans, clothing store and retail shopping charge cards, and online buy now, pay later website shopping cart checkout payment options from Shine, Fashion Nova, Temu, Sephora, Walmart, and Target. And it's not just millennials that lie awake at night in a panic and stressing over the anxiety of making ends meet. The cost of living has been a top concern and top stress driver for the past 2 years, and naturally, people who have insufficient salaries from their main jobs are more likely to need a side hustle. And that's because nearly 42% of employees living in a low-income household of less than $50,000 say that they need side gig income for daily expenses, while households earning over $100K are most likely to have a side hustle, but they're more likely to use that extra income for discretionary spending. And all the extra work is paying off because for some, the average side hustler is making $810 a month, and millennials are earning the most, averaging around $1,000 a month. Yet no matter who you are or when you were born, the opportunities are still out there for you to make money and earn money online with side hustles and gigs that are simple and easy with no skill required. Now, I've got multiple links in the description down below for all of you, and they are 100% free, just for you to click on and get information about several ways in which how you can get started making extra money today. And don't sleep on it either, because even the high income earners are getting their piece, as we can see that Goldman Sachs CEO and the head of one of Wall Street's preeminent banks, David Solomon, is getting paid for nightly gigs as a side hustler and DJ. So when he's not investing the billions of dollars of the account holders that are held in their banks, he's moonlighting on the ones and twos as an amateur disc jockey, and he ain't half bad either. Now, YouTube's copyright and demonetization policy won't allow me to play it for you here, but Solomon recently just won the rights to a deal allowing him to remix Whitney Houston's 1980s era hit song, I Wanna Dance With Somebody. But seriously, there are some easy money making side hustle gig work jobs out there that can pay you every day. And I can't believe no one's even talking about them. So I'm going to go over the 3 ways to create multiple big streams of income for all the members signed up to Patreon. So if you're looking to boost your income and make extra money to buy food, groceries, preps, stock up, or just save and invest, well, then you're not going to want to miss that one. In addition to the latest updates on the overwhelming majority of Americans who oppose US CBDC that would ultimately allow the government to track and control spending. And despite a new survey from an American think tank showing us proof positive of answers to questions that we already knew, there is an overwhelming majority of U.S. adults that are against the adoption of a central bank digital currency, CBDC, that allows the government to track and control their financial activities. But I am a little shocked, or more so concerned, that the results weren't 100% unanimous, as only 74% of respondents said that they would oppose the issuance of a CBDC if it gave the government control over how people spend their money, and that about 68% said that they are against the adoption of a CBDC if it meant that the government could keep an eye on their spending. So it's clear to me that we have some sheep left out there that need to wake up. Meanwhile, 68% said that they will not support a CBDC if the digital dollar eliminated all cash, and 64% claim that they would be averse to adopting a CBDC if it allowed the Federal Reserve to tax Americans who tighten their belts during a recession. Yet, more than half of the respondents, which that is 59%, say that they would not accept a CBDC that gives the government the power to freeze the bank accounts of American protesters. And I got to tell you guys, I'm not loving these poll results so far, because the research also revealed that 16% of U.S. adults favor the idea of a government-issued CBDC. But maybe there's still hope. Hope that the minority of people out there will come around and realize just how debilitating this forceful and totalitarian-like mandated control would be for us as a country, society, and economy, and before it's too late.
A lot of the wealth creation methods that you're going to hear from older people simply don't work anymore. Of course, the old guy is going to sit there and go, save your money, put it in a savings account, get a mortgage. Bro, of course that worked for you. You were putting money in a savings account, getting 4% interest. Yeah. Now they won't even give us 1%. You're putting your money in a savings account. You bought a house for 85 grand. Now it's worth $500,000. And at the time you bought it for 85 grand, you were probably earning 30 grand a year. Yeah. Now I'm earning 40 grand a year. The house has cost 10 times more. I get no interest on my money. So everything you're telling me is outdated. It doesn't work anymore. If you're going to follow the path that your parents followed, you're not going to ever become rich. You need modern ways to make money, modern wealth creation.